Hi everyone, welcome back to another channeled reading video. There are lots of different threads floating around, lots of different messages, lots of things going on. If this found you, and of course use your discernment always when you watch videos like this, it could be a reflection of what you're currently experiencing, which might be, just like a sense of a lot of things are kind of going on at once. I know that there are messages that want to come out, but I am going to rely on the cards for some help and some direction on like where to start. But there is just a lot going on. I'm seeing a classroom full of students, older students, and everyone is bickering and arguing at the same time. And either the teacher or you or someone just goes, "Everybody stop, stop." So there could be a need for some silence. There could be a need for listening. There could be a need for slowing down and pausing. Another message that's just coming through is the discomfort or the pain that you feel is not necessarily a sign that anything bad or wrong. Look at you taking up the corner like a princess, cornerstone of my universe, of my heart and my soul. She's just perfectly placed right in the corner. Anyway, this intro is feeling so scattered, but that's okay. I'm going to go with it. Lots of things are moving pretty quickly. Eight of Wands at the bottom. I'm going to start this over, actually. Should I? I don't know. I'm just going to go with it. I do not want to filter this out. Anyway, a message that was coming through. I already lost it. What was it? They're saying there's something that disappointed you, but it's not the thing that has something wrong with it. Has nothing to do with the outside. It's your emotions right now and your reactions to people, places, things, situations, scenario. I mean, they're mostly always about you anyway. Not all the time, but a lot of the time, enough of the time. But there's a message here about your tuning fork being tuned, being refined to match the signal that you are supposed to match with. There's so much going on here. Well, this could be because I was making music earlier, but I'm seeing guitar strings. I'm just going to go with it. Tuning. Hi, my potato. Come here. You want to say something? You want to say something? Oh, sweet girl. Oh, my sweet. Yeah. Okay. Oh, look at that little hot fudge foot. Okay. Yes. I'm just feeling like agitated energy that's kind of bunched up. And I'm seeing a doorway, and on the right side of the hallway, there's a doorway, and then there's a hallway, and on the right side of the hallway, there's like a black shadow. Are you licking my sock? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right, get up there. Yeah, go. And through the doorway, there's a figure, a shadowed figure, and then they're broken up into two sections. On their right side, there's a shadow, and on their left side, there's light. you might feel some kind of like split sense. Might feel a kind of split sense about a person or within yourself. You're going towards an opportunity, or there's someone that is revealing an opportunity to you, but you might have mixed feelings about that person or that opportunity or what's on the other side of the door. But something is opening up for you, and you're actually starting to feel and see the possibility of walking through a doorway that you have maybe dreamt of or imagined. But there's something about it that is drawing your attention to the positive and the negative about that thing. Miss Sing Song girl singing her songs, come here. Oh, my peepee, my poopy. Mm-hmm. My singer. Yeah. Can you hear her purring? There goes the heater. Okay. Lord help me. God help me. What? Five of Cups. Five of Cups coming out. There's some grief. Yeah, Two of Swords. Yeah, you could be in a very, like, contemplative zone, like, not stuck in your head per se, but you could have reached a crossroads that is, well, here we have the Death at the bottom. You could have reached a crossroads recently that has you grieving, feeling some grief, feeling like, okay, I'm standing here right now, I'm standing right in front of a doorway, right in front of a new opportunity, and it's like you're paused because that thing is not necessarily maybe your thing, but it's like stirring this emotion and this kind of like letting go within you. It's like another freaking layer of loss and of grief and of letting go. What are the messages that want to come through beneath this energy? What is actually wanting to be said here? The Magician. I mean, yeah, you're in creative mode. You're stepping into doing your things. Wheel of Fortune. Yeah. You could be exercising your creative prowess or your abilities, or creating projects, or beginning the process of making something, manifesting something in the physical world. But you might feel a sense of frustration or stalling, or just like it's not the right time. And it's like the message here is that you have not lost your creative gifts, you have not lost your ability, you have not lost the thing that you have put all this time and effort and energy and grief and sacrifice into. You haven't lost it. You have not lost it. You might be exhausted, 9 of Wands, but you have not lost that thing. It's simply just not the time for that thing to step forward right now. So that's what it is. I mean, 2 of Swords, Wheel of Fortune reversed, 5 of Cups, and the Magician. This is all pointing towards how you're stepping into, you are walking your creative alchemical path, your creative alchemy path. And you are experiencing grief at this crossroads because you see a door, you see an opportunity right in front of you, but for some reason it's triggering this grief or this loss or this feeling of lack of fulfillment, really. And you're being told to pause. That is what it is, and it only took me 9.5 minutes to get to that part of the message. That's the main message. That was so weird. And I just picked up the Death, and I picked up the deck, and Death just popped out on its face there. So yeah, this is another death, but this is not like the deaths that you have gone through to get where you're at. What does God want to say about letting go this time? What does God want to say about going through what you're going through now. What is the advice here? What is the advice here? Two of Cups reversed. Well, you might be sad. You might feel far away from something that you love and that you want, need, whatever. Okay, so there is first and foremost, what God/Spirit wants you to know primarily is that you are going in the right direction. It's like you're being carried to the thing, to the vision, to the thing that you want to do. You're being taken there, and it's kind of effortless, and you're being reminded what it feels like to effortlessly merge with or encounter. I must have the cat hair on my nose or something, I don't know. To effortlessly merge with and encounter the things that are for you. But Two of Cups reversed and the World reversed on either side of the Chariot. That's what happens when I do this. Oh no, I guess it was just one peace sign is the balloons. Anyway, there's something about closure. I feel like what you're going through right now is could be like a final huzzah, like a last hurrah. Yep, cat hair. When it comes to dynamics that were not fully aligned or fully unified with your soul. Does that make sense? Two of Cups reversed is like, my soul is not seen or mirrored fully here. My soul is not giving and receiving deeply here. My soul is not recognized here. And there's something that needs to continue to work itself out in order for me to find closure in that cycle or that pattern. But God is reassuring me, God is reassuring you that He is carrying you through this. So it's almost like you don't need to do anything. You're already moving towards the thing. It's just like the physical dimension, the physical world needs to work itself out. The energy needs to play itself out. And your job is to just continue. What is your job? I mean, I think your job is to continue being who you are and really doing what you're doing and staying in alignment. That's really your job. Ace of Wands on the bottom. You haven't lost your passion, your creativity, your spark, but it's like you gotta go through these illusions. You gotta walk through these curtains, so to speak. You gotta walk through the thick, heavy curtains. You have to split them apart and physically move through them and physically move them apart and physically walk. You know what I mean? You have to exert a little bit of effort to get to the other side. And it's like you are going to be in a place very, very soon, if you're not already, where it's like you feel like you can finally rest in the embodiment of your passion, your spark, the spark of your soul, your creative soul. What is your, divine guidance for navigating this process? What other guidance? Ten of Pentacles came out and then it flipped kind of upside down. I feel like there are things maybe tied to your family or your past life, as in, it could be literal past lives, or it could be ancestry or your blood family. But there are things tied to your legacy or your patterns, your karma, your patterns that need to rearrange themselves or that are maybe overshadowing the current process a little bit, but it's like, it's just being rearranged. Again, there's not a loss. Nothing's being lost here. It's just that things feel like they're maybe a little slow right now, and you might actually feel a little disillusioned by the events that are taking place in your life right now, because it's like, well, you're not where you used to be, but you're not where you envision yourself, landing at quite yet. But you are in an in-between that does feel a lot closer to where you're going to. We do have the Star, so you definitely are in a place in your life If this is, your reading, where you feel hopeful and you feel inspired by the circumstances around you. Even if they're not perfectly, lined up with the life that you set out to create. Things like that. Okay, what other guidance? Oh my God. That's fascinating. For some people, you could be a hair away. You could be circling around your counterpart, your divine counterpart. But there's actually a wisdom and an intelligence in the delay or the feeling of blockage that you have right now. It's almost like your inner fire is being protected. Literally, Queen of Wands upright and King of Wands reversed. There is something circling around. Well, here's what it is. Your mirrors in this life, your tribe, your divine counterpart, your home, your environment, whatever it is that is a match to your soul, it is literally circling around you. It is literally circling around you. And that's what I'm getting. I'm going to put these back and then ask some more about that. So, what is it going to take for your true match? And I don't only mean, romantic partnership. That's not what I mean. I mean, what is it going to take for your true match in terms of your lifestyle, including relationships, place, things, whatever? What is it going to take for your true, your frequency to come find you? What is it going to look like? What is that process going to look like of your frequency finally landing in your life? That was interesting the way that came out. 6 of Pentacles. Well, this is saying period here. Whenever I get the Joker card, the placeholder card, I always read this as an amplifier, kind of like the period at the end of a sentence. 6 of Pentacles is saying continue to nurture what gives back to you, and really just keep that 6 of Pentacles energy as an anchor, right? What do I mean by that? What does that look like in a practical, day-to-day, lived sense? It means put your energy into what gives back to you. It's so simple. It doesn't mean overexert yourself. It doesn't mean exhaust yourself. It doesn't mean overcommit. It means be right here and right now, putting your energy into what is feeding you back. And it could be a long-term vision that's feeding your long-term stability back to you, that you might not see results, 6 of Pentacles doesn't mean put your energy into something that, feeds you back immediately. It could be putting your energy into something that is, that you're building to sustain, your future self, because that's a version of reciprocity, right? Giving to your present moment to sustain, your future, because you're putting this much of yourself in now, but you're going to get it back later. It's kind of like an investment. You put $1 in today, and in 5 years it grows to $500 or whatever. So 6 of Pentacles is saying stay in your, just stay, and it's so freaking simple. It's like a lot of you watching my videos have gone through so much, and you've gone so far, and you have you've really walked through your own versions of hell, and you have learned to really let go and surrender, your attachment to the outcome of these processes, because you have decided to walk in faith, and you have learned day after day, month after month, year after year to continue walking in faith. And now that you're in this place in your life where things are not what they used to be, and you're kind of cruising, life is way easier than it used to be. It's not your hard, cosmic crackdown season anymore. It's your coasting gently, sometimes quietly, patiently season. And so when you come close to a thing that resembles what it is that you have sacrificed, your ego time and time again for, my God, this is really, really epic right now. When you get close to things that, yeah, feel like they almost mirror what you have sacrificed your comfort and your ego, and your sense of security for, it almost triggers this part of you that's like, can I finally let go? Can I finally surrender? Is it finally here? But it's like, no, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. For some of you, maybe you're a lot closer. But for whoever this reading is for, it's likely that you're not yet there, but it is inevitably on its way. It's so close. And literally your advice is to just keep pouring into what is, helping you feel sustained and nourished. And then I kept splitting the deck, and these beautiful cards were popping out. I split the deck. It wasn't even a split. It was just like, that's not a split. This is like most of the deck. But the Lovers, do you see this? This was at the bottom of the deck. And I feel like this is what's coming. It could literally be, divine counterpart, divine union, but this also speaks to unity between the conscious and unconscious minds, aka, manifest in physical reality. That looks like the unification of conscious and unconscious looks like lived, embodied, fluid harmony. When your will and your desire and your external world all harmonize, and you can touch and hold and sensually engage with what it is that you want. You know what I mean? This is like the result of prayer. It's the fruit of faith, really. And then what happened when I split the deck again? The Ten of Cups was peeking through. You're on your way. I don't even want to say you're on your way to happiness, as if it's not there with you already, but it's like the reflection of it in this physical world. It's like God is real, right? I mean, I believe in God, but it's not that I believe in God, it's that I know God is real. God is real. And God, I feel like God is so obvious in like a beautiful sunset, or a divine romantic union specifically, or the love that you have for your pet, or the beauty of the natural world and colors and textures, or the way that the earth turns, or God is just evidence of the impossible, the beautiful, miraculous and whatnot. And sometimes God is not so obvious, and we need to remember, what God really means to us during moments when we don't have faith, when we forget what God looks like. And, I know that there are unfathomable horrors that are still happening on the earth all over the place. And I've wrestled with this, and so have many, many faithful people. But it's like, when you reach your own personal pit of hell, you question, is God even real? Is God even listening? Is God even here? First of all, yes. Yes. Second of all, why? Well, here's something that I have learned to hold on to. And it's slippery. It could be slippery for some people. You can always argue, but you know what? Your faith and your belief in God is yours. It's your relationship. It's your thing to wrestle with. So I'm not here to convince you, but I'm here to offer my perspective, and maybe it'll support your journey right now if you're struggling, with some shaky faith. But I think about like the worst things imaginable on the planet, and I'm like, why would God let that happen? Why would God let these things happen? Humans have free will, okay? God can only do as much as we allow him to do, right? It's like we allowing God's presence for me into my life means becoming a vessel and opening my receptivity so that the Spirit of God, the Holy Spirit, my spirit, can speak through me, can create through me, can serve through me, aka this body, this mind. Because this, what you see, me, the flesh, the neural circuitry, the voice, the identity, the personality, the memories, the name, the hair, the jacket, the house. That is a unique expression of God. It's a version of God. It's a vehicle for God. You can look at a wall and you can know God. What are the qualities of God that are in this wall? Color, light, stability, protection. I mean, there are miracles in the wall, and when we go through hell in our lives, I just felt a spirit sit right next to me sometimes when I channel. I feel, and I'm building a relationship with these things, but I'm just like, I just felt a young kind of, I don't know if it's like a woman or a man. I feel like it's like an older woman who has a son or something, but she just sat right next to me, and she feels like teacher energy. I'm going to start talking about these guys more, because when I do my channels, they show up, and I'm getting more comfortable with their unique kind of like energetic blueprints and energetic signatures. And there's one who's like a masculine kind of spine protector from my father's side of the lineage, and he's just, I don't know how I sound to some people. If you're into this stuff, then you probably get it, but I'm embracing this. It's very new to me, but I have always felt all these sensations, and now I'm like putting, more solid kind of labels on it, because it's all about pattern recognition and identifying sensations and tracking energies or whatnot. So I feel like this is like an ancestor that just showed up, and she's a teacher. It's like this energy of teaching, curiosity, whatever. Anyway, that's just me thinking out loud. I feel like these channeling videos are becoming more and more personal. Like, me and you sit down in my living room, have a conversation, and I kind of like the format of that. But anyway, right? So when we are having a hard time believing in God, like, you know what I mean? Like in the situations in life where we feel despair, or we're suffering, or we see hell on earth, and we think, how can God exist? It's like, take it back to the basics. Is the sun still shining? Maybe not in a region that's clouded by smoke. Well, if smoke is all you can see, then how do you get to God through the smoke? What is smoke? Can you really sit with what feels like hell and still find your way back to God? Can you see the miracle in it? Can you This is going to sound so terrible, but can you force the gratitude in it? Can you convince your mind to recognize the presence of divinity, the presence of God in the smoke? What is smoke? And that's one that, honestly, I don't even have an answer for. I think it's maybe coming up because it's like the reality that needs to be acknowledged as well. Because I don't suggest what I'm suggesting to spiritually bypass trauma or whatever. But honestly, I've learned to be faithful and to trust through my own trauma, because I've been through so much of it, and I've been in situations, God, for sometimes like years on end, nonstop, with breathers here and there. But I've been through situations where I had a choice to either collapse into fear or disbelief, or find my faith and see God through the smoke, see God through the suffering, see the fact that, even when I'm suffering, even when I'm bedridden, the fact that my heartbeat is still working, the fact that I can still have the capacity to feel pain, The fact that I can acknowledge that something is not right and that everything is wrong, to me, that's proof of God. So God is in the, active acknowledgement of everything that's wrong. You can scream and cry and wail and grieve, and in your emotional power, in your despair, God is there. God is right there. God is there. But it's so heart-wrenching because I have a lot of compassion for other people who, you know what it is? I realize that I have no control over a lot of other people who are suffering in the world. So saying these words, sometimes it's like I feel like a part of me is trying to reach, you or someone who's suffering, and it's like I feel helpless. I feel helpless. I feel that helplessness. And it's like, how do you cling to God even in a space of helplessness? But I feel like I've gotten way off, topic here. I'm just trusting the flow. I don't even know where I'm going with this, why I'm saying this. I guess maybe someone will resonate with it or need to hear it. But anyway, I'm just going to come back to this and just continue to see what else wants to come through. I'm doing this reading a little bit differently, a little looser. But anyway, as I've said, Lovers and the Ten of Cups, it's like, that's where I was going with the Ten of Cups. I was like, I don't want to say that happiness is coming to you as if it's not already there, or like, the blessings or whatever, because a lot of the time it's a matter of perspective, but not, or experience, not necessarily on a mental level, because you need to, have the embodied experience of, goodness and happiness, bliss, life, whatever, in order to believe it. Although some people can access that through their minds better than others. I know for me, everything comes through feelings, so I can't, it's not really natural for me to think my way towards, feelings, or a different feeling or a different state of mind or whatever. It's like I have to actually feel it. I don't know if that makes sense, but anyway, I split the deck again 2 more times, and the Six of Cups came out, which now we have 2 sixes, 6 of Pentacles, 6 of Cups. This is like emotional comfort. Lord of Pleasure, you see? Pleasure. Lord of Pleasure. This is kind of like that sweet feeling of like childhood nostalgia and, best close friendship, nourishing connections, bonds. 8 of Wands. I mean, it's coming. Oh my God, and the 8 of Cups is right underneath the 8 of Wands. I just saw that. So, there is an underlayer of maybe grief or loss or change or whatever that's kind of working itself out underneath the surface here. But yeah, this was really all over the place. I guess it just needed to be that way. Are there any other messages that want to come through? Oh, we have the Sun reversed. Okay, what I'm hearing is you're going to wake up, child. You're going to wake up soon. Don't fret, child. There's like a maternal loving presence that I'm imagining sitting by your bedside, stroking your hair, comforting you. You could feel like your inner mother archetype, inner parent archetype is becoming stronger. You could be doing inner child healing work, self-reparenting. I kind of hate that because there is never a replacement for, a missing parent or an absent parent. But I think you know what I'm talking about. Creating a nurturing parental kind of dialogue within your own self. That I feel that energy, and I feel this parent energy sitting at your bedside, stroking your hair, reassuring you and whatever, and saying it's just like you have permission to rest. And it's like what's happening is I feel that there is an inner reckoning. Oh my God, as I said rest, literally the Four of Swords, like it just slipped out of the top of the deck literally when I said the word rest. Are you kidding me? Lord of Rest from Strife. No, you're not kidding me, because that's just how this stuff works. And it's just a confirmation, But anyway, Sun reversed, I feel like what this is saying, look at this card, sun, the sun. Oh my god. And that's like, actually, no, never mind. I was seeing these women as like laying down. They kind of look like they could be laying down, but they're holding hands and like joyfully just like looking up, kind of in ecstasy. But sun reversed is like you're shining and you're beaming and gleaming, but internally. Internally. It's like you are having a very intimate experience with your own radiance. And it's like you might feel like you're not shining outwardly so much, or like who you are in your fullest expression is not yet directly impacting your outside world. But it's like you feel warm in yourself. It's like you feel more complete and maybe embodied or full of yourself in a sweet way than you have maybe ever before. It's like there's a new reckoning with your radiance and the light of your soul. Eight of Wands at the bottom again. Well, I mean, I guess because I put that on the bottom. But anyway, what other messages want to come through? Knight of Swords. Yeah, there's like a pause. You know, for some of you might be feeling a little bit frustrated, or there could be somebody around you on their way in to communicate with you or give you a message or spark off your, intellectual, excitement or communication or whatever, and Hanged Man split. So things just need to be paused right now. There could be a couple things for some of you watching that you still need to learn or experience, and I kind of hate saying that because you don't always need to be learning something. It's like, oh, you're doing this because you need to learn this lesson, and life teaches you blah 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 blah, teaching. I'm like, sometimes I just hate that verbiage because it just doesn't resonate with me. I'm like, not everything has to be a learning experience or whatever, you know what I mean? It can just be, we're just here and we're just observing, we're just reflecting. We're not like learning anything we didn't know. I think in life is just a constant process of remembering. And in fact, that's my experience a lot of the time. I'm going to say something a little bit radical, but it's true. When people talk to me as if I am going through something and, it's because I need to learn it or whatever, it's like, actually, no, I already knew the thing because my soul knows, my soul remembers, my body recognizes the truth. And that's exactly what it is. It's recognition and remembrance. It's not learning something I didn't know. It's having more of a delineated container or a concept for a real lived embodied experience, but it's not learning something that I didn't know. It's not, you know what I mean? And that's not coming from a place of arrogance, but it's just the truth. It's just the truth. And that's also not to say that, embodying wisdom is always automatic. It's not. And, because I'm human and I make mistakes, and the wisdom that my soul, that was wiped out of my memory when I incarnated and became a human, I came into the human flesh. It's like all of that wisdom got scattered throughout the timeline of my evolution of my life so that I could pick it back up again and reintegrate it into my flesh and be able to speak some of it and share it and whatnot. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, what else? Any other wisdom points with the Nine of Cups reverse and the Seven of Pentacles? Yeah, I feel like there's still, some of you could be feeling a little weary and just wanting to just like rest in the happiness already. But I think there's just a little bit more to be done. There's a little more patience. There's a little more time. Look at this sweet angel muffin. Oh. Yeah, there's a little more kinks to be worked out on the path. This is what it is. Heaven is working on things behind the scenes. This is like the cookies are baking in the oven. You just put the timer on. So now you gotta wait. And when you're a kid, when you're a kid and your parents are like, you can have 5 more minutes, and you're like, yes! Like 5 minutes is the most time in the universe. But right now we're just like, a week feels like 2 seconds, and 5 minutes feels like 5 hours when we're doing something we don't want to do because, we stopped being children in that way. But Seven of Pentacles with Nine of Cups in reverse is almost like heaven is working on your dreams. Heaven is working on there's a divine orchestration behind your dreams. And I'm also seeing a personal memory of mine when I was at a bonfire a few years ago, and there was so much smoke coming out of the fire, and I'm really, really, really sensitive to smoke. I actually had a really, really severe health crisis because of, it was burning plastic, garbage smoke when I was in Africa earlier this year, and it was just a trigger on top of a lot of other things that my body had been dealing with that were just revealed when I got triggered. But anyway, I was at this bonfire with a crap ton of smoke all around it, and some people were actually smoking blunts or whatever, and I felt so out of place. I felt so frustrated. I felt so much like I didn't belong, and I'm a very substance-free person. I don't like substances, and I can't relate to depending on them or using them. I did smoke weed when I was 16 for health reasons, and it actually saved my life, and it really helped me, and I had a lot of education. My sister lobbied for medical marijuana legalization back in 2014, 2015. She would go sit in Senate and was there, but unfortunately passed away before it became legalized. So celebrating her in heaven and her work. But so I was around substances before, and I've never done any drugs for fun. I did 2 or 3 psychedelic plant medicine ceremonies, and to be honest, I hated them. One of them was bad. One of them was nice shapes and whatever, and of course I was feeling everything. It was beautiful to experience it, but it's the experiences that I've had watching a sunset, or hiking up a mountain, or in love with a person, are more real and substantial than experiences that I've had using substances, because a lot of people compare using substances to instead of it's to teleporting instantly to the top of a watchtower. So it's yeah, you get the perspective, you feel the breeze up there, you see the sun over the mountain where you don't normally see it down at the bottom of the valley. But then when you come down and it's gone. But when you train your body to walk up the stairs, to sit at the top of the watchtower, the reward is way better. It's biologically more accessible. It's more worth it. You have the presence to be able to absorb it more. I'm speaking from my own experience. I cannot speak for anybody else. I can only speak for me. So with all the you, I apologize for that, but me, my experience. And yeah, so that's, and I'm also a profoundly sensitive person. And I know, if I use substances, it will just destabilize me so deeply. And the way that I relate to the world is through my subtle senses and my feelings. And I'm always kind of turned on in that way. It's just how I am. It's my baseline. My baseline is what I feel like a lot of people try to use psychedelics to access, and I've never had a problem connecting with the surreal, the mystical, the unseen. That is just, it's how I am built, and so I don't know why I started talking about any of that stuff. Oh, because I was just trying to trust the memory. When I channel, I get visions, and I try to go with them, and I'm trying a new thing where I'm just flowing with this in a different way, and it feels more raw and a little awkward, but that's okay. But yeah, I saw this memory of being at the bonfire and other people were smoking, and I felt so out of place. And every time I'm around people who, do drugs or smoke or whatever, there's a part of me that aches because I'm not like people who use substances for avoidance or numbing or coping or whatever. And I'm not saying that, I am not similar in any way to those people. I think that every human being has something in common. We're all bound, but it's like my thing specifically, what I'm trying to get at here in my message is that this is a personal reflection, and maybe you can use it to relate to your own journey or experience, but there's a part of me that longs for, community of people who experience a connection with the world in the same kind of shamanistic, subtly attuned type of way. And it's rare that I meet those types of people. But when I do, it's like, whew, we just take off, and it's just incredible. And I think I'm sharing this anecdote maybe to encourage someone that, like, with the dreams and stuff, with that, so what I described, when I meet those people that I really, really, really resonate and click with, that's like the embodiment of me, of the upright sun, right? That's me in my element. The sun is like you in your element, you upright. But the sun reversed is like me at that bonfire, where it's like I feel the pain and there's the discrepancy of my super subtle senses and other people around me who are almost, there's like a wall being created between the way I commune with reality and the way that they're communing. They're putting smoke in their body, and there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not judging it at all, or making it wrong, but it's not my path. It's not good for me. It's not where I'm at. And, it does remind me of this longing that I have, and like, 9 of Cups is like emotional fulfillment, wish fulfillment, material happiness, Lord of material happiness. And this is like, the energy of, for me, being connected with someone who is tapped into those subtle realms, who I do share an intuitive, super subtle, like tapped in kind of chemistry with, the kind of person who feels very rare to connect with. But 9 of Cups reversed, for my situation, it would read as like, I know what this is, and I'm feeling the absence of it. I'm feeling the absence of it because, right next to that energy, that awareness of the lack or of the, the void, is this is like a statement that, heaven is working on it. The angels, God, they're working on the railroad. They're working on the thing. So it's not there, but it's like, there's like this mother spirit, this like maternal spirit, this energy that's like, come sweet child, like rest, and also like rest your beautiful, beautiful sharp mind, rest your mind, let it soften, let your sharp mind soften. Knight of Swords reversed, upright, it's chatty, it's intellectual, it's ideas, reversed, it's contemplation, quiet, intellectual dullness, but yeah, I really hope that the messages are coming through pretty clear. I feel like I want to pull some more. This was really all over the place. I feel like this is going to be for a wider range of people than some of my past readings, but again, I'm just trying something new. Let's get any like final messages. we got the Chariot again, and oh my god, the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, so you're being, I feel like the sticky parts of your lineage, the sticky parts, oh, Ace of Cups on the bottom, that's a perfect ending. And then what's on the top? Oh, the World. Look, we had the World reversed before and now it's upright, so it's like you're gonna be closing a cycle, or maybe watching this, a small part of you experience the closure of a cycle, completion, right? So that you can enter a new chapter because you've actually turned the page, and then that page is now turned, right? It's like if you open a book and you start on chapter 1, you can't get to chapter 3 until you turn the pages to chapter 3. And the World reversed is like, I know I want to get to chapter 3, I know chapter 3 exists, but I'm still reading chapter 2. Or physically, there are pages between me and chapter 3 that I need to turn to get to chapter 3, right? That's the World reversed. But the World upright is like, you have turned every page and now you are at chapter 3, So yeah, and with the Chariot and the Ten of Pentacles reversed, this is like the same energy that I've been reading the whole time. You are literally being carried by the divine towards almost like a better version of your legacy. This is like the love that you're destined to recreate in a family of your own, or in a soul tribe, or a community, or a home of your own. This is your personal legacy gestating. This is the gestation energy of your personal legacy. It's not being born yet, but it's being worked on, and you're being charioteered towards it. Okay, so I'm gonna leave this there. I love you so much. I hope that this video was helpful, and if you watched it all the way through, let me know. Leave a comment. That would mean a lot to me. And yeah, so I guess that's all. I do offer personal readings. If you're interested in anything, any of those, check out the information for those in the description, and you can send me a message here or on Instagram at Rustic Peach. All the info is in my description. So yeah, with that, what am I gonna do? I guess I'll do one of these. Okay, bye. See you next time.